Hi everyone, my name is Lily and I'm the book reviewer behind Utopia State of Mind, and we're going to dive into some audiobook sales. I'm a little bit out of practice because I didn't do an April video for this, but if you didn't know, Librofm is an independent audiobook subscription service, but they have sales every month on audiobooks, which you can get without having a subscription. If you have a subscription, you will save an additional 30%, but you can also buy these ones. These are yours forever. Once you buy them, you just need an account. I'm an affiliate for Librofm, so down below will be affiliate links, but if you don't want to use them, just Google them and you will still get the same sale. I just wanted to, normally I've been doing it like Kiss Club, YA Club sale books, but I'm throwing that out the window. I'm just gonna do all sale books, no more playlists, because I've been having a hard time loading them, so I'm just gonna go with all sale audiobooks. The first one is Sons of Darkness, which is on my TBR and I haven't read it. I am really intrigued by Sons of Darkness, mostly because the physical editions of these were stunningly gorgeous. I saw them in a bookstore once and I was just like, oh, looks so good. But they are thick books, which has stopped me from reading them, even though I own at least this one on my e-reader already. So, will I also own it on audiobook? Who knows? But basically, it is kind of this epic fantasy, which has so many different, it has a republic, and so there's a senator, and they have to figure out how to protect their republic from annihilation. They find out that it's like this political epic fantasy sabotage backstabbing book. There's sinister queens, naive kings, pious assassins, and ravenous priests. So what more could you want? That is on my TBR. And similarly on my TBR is Toward Eternity. I actually own this one, but I haven't read it yet. That is, okay, if you're new here, that is a statement you will hear a lot in these videos because all of our TBRs are endless. What do you want me to say? But Toward Eternity, which I'm really excited for. Basically, it is a book which is a speculative fiction dystopian love story, sort of, which spans a lot of different boundary crossings. It is a near future world, and so there's this therapy that eradicates cancer. But to eradicate cancer, they're going to replace them with nanites. So that's why it's speculative fiction, because that's not happening now. There's a lot of questions about, you know that metaphor where like there's a ship and then you slowly are replacing each board of the ship, and then at the end of the day you're kind of like, is this the ship anymore? Is this the same ship at the end of the day? That's kind of this in a nutshell. It's looking at sort of how much of us can we impart, how much of this can we change, when do we stop being ourselves, basically. The Ex-Girlfriend Murder Club by Gloria Chow is on sale. This is a great time to pick it up because the sequel is coming out relatively soon. It is a murder mystery where 3 women are dating the same man and they get revenge, but then they find out that he's actually been... someone's already gotten to him. This was so fun. It's definitely kind of like a John Tucker Must Die kind of spoof in some senses, in the sense that like the main character is also named Tucker, so you know, we're seeing the inspirations here, but it is so fun. If you've loved kind of these murder mysteries that have a hilarity, have a kind of romance, have a fun lightness to it at the same time, the Ex-Girlfriend Murder Club is definitely one that you have to read. I've loved it. I recommended it to my mom. Like, what more can I say? If I recommended it to my mom, you know that's something that I stand by. Gigi Shin is Not a Nerd by Lila Lee is on sale. I love Lila Lee's books, and this is a middle grade series. I feel like I don't talk enough about middle grade books, and I feel like I don't talk enough about middle grade audiobooks, but this is it. I don't know that much about it, but it's supposedly reminiscent of the Babysitter Club books, which I can definitely see based on the vibes of the books. I really want to read more middle grade books in general, and so this one is definitely on my TBR. I also love like a good middle grade series. Single Player is on sale, which I read via audiobook. I really loved it. It is 2 video game creators. It's like a rivalry to lovers workplace book. I see this a lot being like enemies to lovers, and I promise you it is not that like enemies deep, basically. So if you love this idea of rival video game creators in a workplace romance, this was really fun. I also loved seeing these two characters be vulnerable with each other. I really love workplace romances, and so this is one of my favorite. I actually don't know how many workplace romances I've read which I've really liked, but this one is certainly one of my favorite because it's also looking at kind of video game creation, the STEM fields, like the dominance of male voices within the STEM fields, specifically video games, and so obviously really enjoyed that one. Silver and Smoke is on sale, so if you haven't read the finale, please do. I have really, really loved the Ashes of Thesmar series. I'm not done with the Legends of Thesmar series, but I've really enjoyed this one, and I actually can't tell you anything about it because major spoilers. Dragon Fruit is on sale. I have really loved Makia's books. I think Year of the Reaper might still be my favorite, but Dragon Fruit is a romantic and fantasy inspired by Pacific Island mythology. I don't think I've actually read this one. As I said, I really loved Year of the Reaper, but I really love Makia's really unique, interesting fantasy worlds. And so this one, the main character is the daughter of an island family, but her father steals a sea dragon egg, and she's forced into the life of an exile, and she has to study the majestic sea dragons, and also has an encounter with a female dragon who offers her a chance to return home. So obviously this is going on my TBR and honestly in my cart as well. I'm a fan of Makia's books, and so I have to put that one down. The next one is The Inheritance, which, okay, if you haven't seen this video yet, but in my April wrap-up I'm going to talk about how much I loved This Kingdom Will Not Kill Me, and so I'm now just going to dive straight into Ilona Andrews' worlds. This also is dual narration. This is interdimensional, sci-fi, also dystopian. Like, what more could I really want? I'm so intrigued by this author duo. Also the main character, it's like a sci-fi, but the main character has a sword and there's a wolf. So, I mean, that was all I really had to see. It's already in my cart. Basically, the main character is a talent. She had a happy marriage and a job she loved. Then there was an invasion. Now she works for the government, looking for breaches for magic metals and medicine to help Earth repel an interdimensional enemy. What more could you really want? Internment is on sale by Samira Ahmed. I love Samira Ahmed's books. Internment is such a raw book. I think specifically now, which unfortunately makes it more irrelevant, but basically it is set in a near future which honestly feels like it's coming closer and closer and closer, and her parents are forced into an internment camp for Muslim American citizens, and so she has a boyfriend on the outside. They're unexpected allies within the internment camp, and she has a fight for freedom and to lead a revolution against the camp's directors. Unfortunately, with the state of the world, this is feeling more and more horrifying, but it is so good. Samira Ahmed has these stories which they are just so compelling. I have read so many of Samira's books, and I have loved basically all of them. I really, really love Mad, Bad, and Dangerous to Know, and it just is so good. I can count on her books as well to be searing, emotional, and kind of gut-wrenching at the same time, and Internment definitely fits all of those. Lunar Love is on sale. I don't know if Lunar Love is the first one. I think it is. Basically, the main character is taking over her grandmother's matchmaking business, but she learns that there's like a rival dating app which has this idea of Chinese zodiac animal attraction, zodiac signs. There's definitely this rivalry, and also the LA's most eligible bachelor is behind the app and obviously could destroy her family's matchmaking business. I really, really enjoyed this world and these books, and I've read a bunch of Lauren's other books. They're just so fun, and I think this is definitely one which starts it off. I love a good rival family, rival businesses, and this idea of the old meeting the new, of traditional, of matchmaking as well, I really, really enjoyed, specifically because it feels relevant in the way that technology and the way that society is kind of clashing against all of these ideas. Similarly, Yin Yang Love Song is also on sale by Lauren as well. And this one has a family curse in it. So there's a family curse where basically they're not going to end up happy. And so she never believes it. But then, of course, when she has breakup number 9, then she does believe it. And so she has a run-in with a celebrity cellist who offers to fake date her to break her heart, and he will also help promote her business. So those are the two romance books that I also wanted to spotlight because I've really enjoyed them. And also, May is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, so this is also a perfect audiobook for that. Tessa Mayada is No Hero is another middle grade, which I want to shout out about. Julie Abe is honestly like a queen among middle grade stories, and Tessa Mayada is one of my favorite. There's just this beautiful and funny, Julie is so good at writing funny and heartfelt and emotional middle grade stories. Julie Abe is like honestly a middle grade just auto by author. I'm looking at a different middle grade arc that I have for Julie's over there. It is a middle grade fantasy with Japanese lore and mythology. She breaks a family heirloom which sends her to Tokyo to kind of delve into her past as well as Japanese mythology. Really enjoyed this one so much. The Return of Ellie Black is on my TBR and already on my phone. Basically, Emiko Jean, I really loved. Is it Love Me Tomorrow? I really enjoy. You'll see it up here. I really love that, but I haven't. This is a adult thriller from Emiko, and also it's read by a full cast, which was immediately auto-buy. So basically, a local teen who disappeared 2 years earlier has been found alive, and our main character is a detective whose own sister has vanished when they were teenagers, and so she's been helping find other missing girls. So also, something is not right with Ellie after coming back after 2 years. So The Return of Ellie Black is delving into that, and with a full cast, I don't honestly know why I haven't read this one yet. House of the Beast is this really interesting story about legacy. Basically, the main character, she has to make a deal with kind of her estranged father's family to save her mother, which doesn't end up working, but then she's stuck in this deal she made where she has to become inducted into this house system where there are noble families and they serve the gods of death and they have powers and they're imbued with a vessel to be a vessel of the dread beast. That's like the main thing. And so there she has to figure out how to survive, but also this idea of legacy and rot and lies and everything like that is so important in this book. It's like a coming of age book, but coming to terms with this family. There's also the journey to destroy this house, and it's also a story of revenge. Like, it is just so good, and I really enjoyed this one. The Last Gifts of the Universe is on my TBR, and let's just be real, it's on my TBR because there were cats on the cover. It is a sci-fi, it is queer, and there are cats. Like, what? I'm a simple person, but basically it is about a dying universe, and so there is once we've left and gone into the universe, there's a graveyard of dead civilizations, and so we have to kind of figure out what happens. Our main character is an archivist who looks at these dead civilizations to kind of figure out what they can use for them. And during one of the scouting missions, the main character uncovers a surviving message from an alien who witnessed the world ending. And there are cats on the main cover. Anyway, this one, I think I already own a copy of this one, but I don't know. It's in my cart anyway. Butter is on sale. I have heard so much hype about Butter, but I haven't read it. But basically, it is a Japanese bestseller about a female cook and serial killer, and a journalist's intent on cracking the story. It is inspired by a true story, and that's really all I needed to know. There's another book that's come out from the same author called Hooked, which I got a copy of, an ER copy of, but I really have been intrigued by Butter. I have been reading more and more translated fiction in the last couple of years, and so Butter has kind of skyrocketed to the top of mine, mostly because I saw also Kylie Lee Baker talking about Butter and Hooked, and so obviously it had to go to the top of my TBR for that. The Eyes Are the Best Part is also on my TBR. Also, the paperback one of this is gorgeous. But I really like this idea of Crying in H Mart meets My Sister the Serial Killer. I've read both of these ones, and so it's a feminist psychological horror about the making of a female serial killer. I just, like, the back-to-back serial killer books that I'm talking about is unintentional, but also might be indicative of me as a person and my vibe currently. It is a Bram Stoker Award finalist. I've been really delving into horror books in the last 2 or 3 years. As the biggest scaredy cat in the world, no one is more surprised than I am about that. But I'm really intrigued by this one, and I feel like an audiobook that might give me the push to read that one. Genocide Bad is on sale. I really, really have enjoyed Sim Cairns' books in the past. The Free People's Village. I'll leave the cover there. But this one is actually a nonfiction book. The other one is a fiction book, but this is actually a nonfiction book. And so I'm super, super intrigued by this one. I don't have this one, even though I saw this one over and over again. I thought that I had actually bought it, but I don't have it. It is part memoir, part crash course in Jewish and Palestinian history. And it is I've wanted to read more and more nonfiction. I read more last year than I ever did before, but my goal this year is to read more than before, just because nonfiction is such a different kind of reading for me, and I'm not good at it, but I would like to be better. So this is in my cart for that one. And so those were all of the books that I wanted to talk about that are on sale, that are on my cart, that are on my TBR for May. I hope that you have found that some that you're interested in. Let me know if you've read some of the ones that I haven't read and can give me some help to figure out if I should buy them, if I should read them, if I should reshuffle my TBR. I hope you have a really great rest of your reading day, week, month, and year. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.